Hi everyone, welcome to another lecture of this series. And in today's lecture, we are going to talk about institutional sponsorship. How we can use the institutional sponsorship to plan or to find a setup in the market. Previously, we have seen that institution order flow किस तरह से फॉर्म हो रहा था जब इंस्टीट्यूशन मार्केट के बुलिश पीडीआरए को रिस्पेक्ट करके प्राइस को ऊपर की तरफ पुश कर रहा था तो इंस्टीट्यूशनल ऑर्डर फ्लो बुलिश था. सिमिलरली व्हेन द मार्केट और द इंस्टीट्यूशन वाज सपोर्टिंग द बेरिश पीडीआरएज एंड ट्राइंग टू पुश द प्राइस ऑन द डाउन साइड तो हमारा इंस्टीट्यूशनल ऑर्डर फ्लो बेरिश फॉर्म हुआ था. सो बेसिकली इंस्टीट्यूशंस वर सपोर्टिंग दैट प्राइस एक्शन or they were trying to defend their stop losses in particular direction. For example, when the price was moving on a higher side, so जब भी price में एक retracement आ रहा था, the institutions were using their discount array to push the price on the higher side, and at the same time they were trying to defend their stop losses which were below the previous swing low. The market was retracing back into the discount array and was moving on a higher side, taking out the high or the making a break of structure on the higher side. So basically the institution was sponsoring this up move. So how we can identify the institutional sponsorship in our setup? For example, our bias is bullish और हमारा setup भी bullish है and we have taken out the trade on the long side. So we need to confirm the institutional sponsorship that price is also getting supported by the institution on that particular side in which we are sitting in our trade. So to identify it in your setup, we need to keep few things in our mind. For example, हम लोगों ने long side का setup form किया है. Then what are the things we need to कीप इन माइंड? फर्स्ट, हमारा जो हायर टाइम फ्रेम पे जो भी हमारा प्राइस एक्शन रहेगा, इन दैट वी नीड टू फाइंड अ डिस्प्लेसमेंट. वी नो द डिस्प्लेसमेंट एक स्पीड से एक मोमेंटम आता है एंड जब मार्केट में इम्बैलेंसेस क्रिएट होते हैं उसको हम लोग डिस्प्लेसमेंट बोलते हैं. तो वी नीड अ डिस्प्लेसमेंट ऑन अ हायर साइड एंड इट कैन फॉर्म एनी वेयर. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल मार्केट इज मूविंग ऑन अ हायर साइड एंड सडनली वहाँ से रिवर्स हुआ तो रिवर्सल में डिस्प्लेसमेंट अगर फॉर्म होता है, राइट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मार्केट कंसोलिडेट करा था, उसके बाद मार्केट सडनली ऊपर की तरफ एक्सपांड हो गया तो एक्सपांशन में अगर हम लोग को डिस्प्लेसमेंट दिखता है और फॉर एग्जांपल प्राइस ने एक्सपांड कर लिया आफ्टर कंसोलिडेशन एंड इट इज़ रिट्रेसिंग बैक इनटू एन इम्बैलेंस. सो ऑल दिस कंडीशन कैन वर्क ऑन अ हायर टाइम फ्रेम वेदर इट्स अ रिवर्सल, एक्सपांशन और अ रिटर्न टू अ फेयर वैल्यू गैप और टू अ इम्बैलेंस. नाउ वंस वी फाइंड द हायर टाइम फ्रेम डिस्प्लेसमेंट, वी नीड टू सी दैट कि हमारा इंटरमीडिएट टर्म लेवल पे इम्बैलेंस क्रिएट होता है प्राइस में. सो प्राइस मस्ट मूव टू अ डिस्काउंट or to a sell side liquidity. We are talking about long, so in this case it must move on the discount, right? We have said the market is moving on a higher side. It will come to a discount array or it can come to these old low to hunt the sell stop or the sell side liquidity, right? And then on a short term level we have to identify where the price will try to reach, what are the buy side liquidity where we can look for the exit. क्योंकि हम लोगों ने जो भी लोअर लेवल पे या डिस्काउंट एरे पे हम लोगों ने जो बाय किया है, वी नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई कि कहाँ तक प्राइस जा सकता है ऑन अ बाय साइड टू टेक द लिक्विडिटी सो दैट वी कैन एग्जिट आवर लॉन्ग. नाउ अलॉन्ग विद दैट टाइम ऑफ डे ऑल्सो इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ यू आर डूइंग फॉरेक्स देन इन दैट केस यू हैव टू लुक फॉर द लंडन ओपन लो ऑफ द डे. जो लंडन किल जोन होता है उसका लो ऑफ द डे कहाँ फॉर्म हो रहा है या फिर न्यूयॉर्क में लो कहाँ पे फॉर्म हो रहा है. व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट निफ्टी वी कैन यूज द एएम सेशन और द पीएम सेशन. किस तरह से यूज करेंगे हम लोगों ने ऑलरेडी डिस्कस किया है कि निफ्टी में जब एएम सेशन में ट्रेड फॉर्म होते हैं वी लुक फॉर द प्रीवियस डे स्विंग्स एंड द प्रीवियस डे लिक्विडिटी. सिमिलरली when the price is trading in the PM session, we look for the AM session and the lunch hour liquidity along with the previous day liquidity. Now same goes for the short setup. अगर मार्केट में डाउन साइड का मूव हो रहा है, we are into a short side trade, तो institutional sponsorship में we have to look for the higher time frame displacement. Same, either it will be reversal, expansion or a return to a fair value gap or an imbalance. On an intermediate term, we need to find the imbalance in the price. It must move to a premium or to a buy side liquidity or a liquidity run from where we can look for the sell or the short setup. And once we have analyzed that on a short term, we will look where we can find the sell side liquidity on the downside level so that we can exit our shorts. Same, the time of the day will influence in the forex the London open high or the New York high, and in the Nifty or in the Indian market the AM session high and the PM session high will play a role. Now moving back onto a chart, so we have a Nifty on a daily time frame. So we have seen that कि ये सारे sell stops pending थे. Market just went down to take sell side liquidity, tap into this imbalance, and where exactly it went we'll see on the weekly time frame. So it just went into this down candle, see over here. So we just went down into this order block over here, and after taking out this low, we just went up high to take out all this buy side liquidity, right? So on a daily time frame, so on a daily time frame, after taking this low, we have already discussed this up move on a lower time frame, how the institution was supporting the price, how we can use this institutional order flow and align it with the institutional sponsorship to understand if we are into a trade and if we are long in Nifty, how we can identify and look for the entries in this up moving market. So moving on a lower time frame. So if you look at the particular price action or a price delivery of this up move, I want you all to observe all this horizontal line. ये सारी horizontal line क्या mark कर रही है? They are the opening price or the opening tick of that particular day. अगर यहाँ पे price open हुआ है, right? Similarly, the next day it opens somewhere here and so on. All these are the opening price of this particular day. So after tapping into this weekly time frame order block and taking out all the sell side liquidity, we just went up on a higher side, took out this short term high, and here we have a market structure break on the higher side and it got bullish over here. If you just observe price जहाँ पे open हुआ है, it just went down first after the opening and it moved on a higher side. Similarly, there was this opening, just went down a tick or over here and move on a higher side. Similarly, open over here, downside का move आया, move on a higher side, and so on. If you'll see, price जहाँ पे भी open हुआ है, there is a move on a downside, and after that we have move on a higher side. Now, if you know about the power of three or the accumulation, manipulation, and distribution, and if you don't know about the power of three, you can just go and check out the Instagram. I have already covered it over there and discuss कि किस तरह से प्राइस जब ओपन होता है फॉर अ डेली सेशन. सो देयर इज एन ओपनिंग प्राइस. सो इफ दिस इज द so if so if it this so if this is a if this is a daily price action, or if if the price so if this is your particular price action for the day, we have a opening price and we have a closing price. So price क्या करता है, open होता है. If the bias is bullish, it will move on a downside, create a Judah swing where the accumulation will happen, and then it will move on a higher side. So this is your power of three, the accumulation, manipulation, and distribution on the higher side. Same is happening over here. After the structure break on the higher side, we have this opening price and price is moving on a downside. So if you just look closely to it, so here we are. So after taking out this high, यहाँ पे price open हुआ, it just went down into this breaker. So we have this low, high, low has been created. So this up moving candle helped the price to break below this low. Now the price is trading above this, so this becomes your breaker. So if you mark this, price open somewhere here, went down below this opening price into this breaker, and after that it started moving on a higher side of that particular day. Similarly, we have discussed about this day also, there is an up move, then retrace back into this order block and continue on the higher side. We are just discussing the daily sessions. The next day we opened here, we traded downside once, again we traded back, where we are trading into this down candle over here, or you can see this down candle. So if you mark this down candle over here, you can see price traded back into this once over here after the opening price just went up, traded below into this down candle, again traded back into this, and after this you can see a gap up opening on the next day. Again on this day we open somewhere here, traded back into this inefficiency or the imbalance, right? So this was the fair value gap. Price is trading above this fair value gap and using it as a inversion fair value gap. Along with that, we have this reclaimed order block over here. We'll discuss about this in the later. So price is using these. You could see this over here. It tapped into that and started moving on a higher side. Next day we opened, traded back where it's trading into the same reclaim order block, tap into that, moved on a higher side. So whenever the price is opening below the opening price, there is an accumulation. Where it is accumulating, previous discount array because price is moving on a higher side. So जो भी इसके नीचे रहेगा हमारा PD array, that's going to be our discount array. Price उस पर trade कर रहा है using these order blocks or the fair value gap and moving on a higher side. Similarly यहाँ पे ये price open हुआ, traded down into this down candle over here. So it traded back into this over here, started moving on a higher side. Same goes on the next day, price opened. Now it's trading downside. Where it's trading into, we have this old high over here, traded back into that old high, and the buy side liquidity, on the left side, which was this 24601, we tap into that. तो यहाँ तक हमारा bullish bias था from that low to this high. Now we have discussed few things what we are looking for. On a higher time frame we need a displacement. We got a displacement on a higher side. The price moved with a gap above the short term high and we traded back into that gap. First thing. Secondly, we want the price to trade back into a discount range. जहाँ price open हुआ उसके नीचे we have a discount array. Price went into that discount array, tap into the previous discount array on the left side of a previous day or a previous sessions, tap into that, move on a higher side. Similarly opened, tap into the discount array of a previous day, started moving on a higher side. Open, tap into the discount array of a previous trading session over here, move on a higher side, and same goes on. Third thing, we have to identify a buy side liquidity जहाँ तक price move करेगा. First we have the short term high on a daily time frame, which was this, and the second was this, and the third was this. All the buy side liquidity was taken out over here, right? First both this buy side were taken out on a same day with a gap of movement. Now the fourth thing is we have to look for the time also when the market is trading. So in the index we look for the AM or the PM session. If you look at this particular day, we opened and this candle is around 10:15. 10:15 is your AM session. In the AM session we just went down, tapped the discount array of this breaker block and move on a higher side. Similarly, this was the opening. The second candle formed at 9:45 went down, tap into this order block, move on a higher side without taking this high, creating a relatively equal low along with this high. We have a buy side liquidity pending above these high over here. Went down once again into this order block or this order block. Again the discount array when it is कब हो रहा है ये PM session में हो रहा है. So either we are getting a trade into that AM session or we are looking that drop into a PM session, not during a lunch hour. Similarly, price open morning में ही it just went down and started moving on a higher side. Same goes over here, went down and started moving on a higher side. On the same day around 2:15 we again went down the opening price, right, into this wick. So there will be a AM session order block or a liquidity inside this wick. Tap into that, move on a higher side. Again this opened AM session में ही we started moving on a downside. Tap into this order block, moved on a higher side. Then again we came back below this opening price. When it is coming, see the time, which is 2:15 and 2:45. Tap into this AM session order block, down candle, traded into that. Next day cap up open. Same over here, we opened, traded in the AM session, started moving on a higher side. Again the PM session 2:45 around we went down, traded into this AM session order block and the CAS candle, right? So with the help of this higher time frame displacement, intermediate time frame imbalances into a discount or a premium array, and short term target of a buy side or a sell side liquidity, and the time of day, using all this thing along with the institutional support where the price is getting supported by the institution in that particular order flow, how we can find a setup and trade. If we take another example of this down move, we can see, so the institutional order flow is bearish. How we can say that it is bearish? The price has taken out these high over here. This was the buy side liquidity. It was taken out over here, started moving on downside. ये short term low break हुआ, traded into this up moving candle, which is your bearish order block, right? Or into this gap, started moving on a downside. Below this, again went up into this gap over here, fair value gap. You can see the bearish PDR is getting respected and price started moving down, opened here, traded into this up moving candle on that day, and the price was in a hurry to reprice on the downside, so it just went tap into this and started melting on the downside, taking out all these sell stops. Again went down, a retracement, continue on a downside after taking out this low, retrace back into this up moving candle, which is your order block, and a fair value gap, started melting on a downside, opened here, retrace back into this up moving candle, which is your order block over here, started moving on a downside after taking out this low. We again went up into this fair value gap, or you can say these up moving candle over here, traded back into that. This is your bearish order block, and then a nice drop into this weekly order block. So if you are bearish into this institutional order flow, this is how you can use your institutional sponsorship and plan your trade, or you can trail using these concepts whether you are sitting in a right direction or not. Suppose अगर मैं यहाँ से मैंने शॉर्ट किया है प्राइस को एंड आई नो दैट प्राइस इज गोइंग टू मूव इनटू दिस लिक्विडिटी ओवर हियर एंड आई हैव शॉर्टेड प्राइस ओवर हियर, व्हेन द प्राइस स्टार्टेड रिट्रेसिंग बैक, I have to identify कि प्राइस कहाँ पे रिट्रेस कर रहा है. We have this imbalance and this bearish order block. If the market is using them to push the price on the downside, this confirms that कि आप जो सेटअप पे ट्रेड कर रहे हो या जिस डायरेक्शन में कर रहे हो, इंस्टीट्यूशन भी उस डायरेक्शन को सपोर्ट कर रहा है. Similarly, the recent downfall also you can clearly see. After taking out this high, just went down, traded back into this up moving candle, right? Continue on the downside. Till here we haven't taken this low, or we haven't taken this high, so we are not very sure that price is going to move on a higher side or on the lower side. So after tapping this high and creating this buy side liquidity, there was a swing failure. Price started moving on a downside with a displacement over here, right? And traded back into that displacement and started moving on a downside, right? Again it went up into this order block and this fair value gap, or to this old low, and started moving on the downside. So this confirms, if you remember on this particular day when I said the price is trying to move on a downside, I was seeing this particular order block over here. Price was using that order block, it was getting supported by the institutions, and there were no sign के market ऊपर की तरफ move करने की कोशिश कर रहा है. All the highs were guarded by the institutions, so उनके सारे stop losses थे, वो safe थे, and the price was moving on the downside. Now again we have a displacement with the short term high taken over here, and we have this gap. We can expect the price to retrace back into this imbalance so that we can look for the buy, and we'll follow the same process. If the price is supporting the bullish PDRAs, and if the market is trading into a discount array and getting supported by the institution, we'll look to buy. This is the concept behind the buy on dips, sell on rise. So whenever the market is bearish, we look for sell on rise. So we try to find the premium array, we try to find the premium order block, we try to find the premium fair value gap. Similarly, when the market is bearish, we look for discount array, we look for discount order block or the discount fair value gap to buy on that dip. So I hope this lecture was insightful to help you understand the institutional order flow and the institutional sponsorship and how you can use it in your particular setup. And that was it for today. See you in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, be happy. Thank you.